Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Medina here for Superpower Review, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, it's been a little while. It's been a really, really long time, huh?
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
Too long.
It's Saturday, guys. So to anybody who's watching in the comic community, if you know these mugs, then you all know we hang out on Saturdays. And so today is a good excuse to not only talk about a really interesting discussion, but to hang out with some really good people. So we have James in the house. We have Mikey in the house from MJ Comics. How you guys doing?
How you doing, everybody in the chat? How you doing?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on today. And we also have JP from Jason Parker Comics. What's up?
Boom! Here we go, guys. I'm so excited to hang out with you all again. It's been, like I say, it's been too long, you know. It must have been about 6 weeks, maybe? 4 weeks? How long's it been?
For all four of us?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
I've actually kind of lost track of time, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure we hung out like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Maybe
a month ago.
Time is just.
I haven't shaved my beard since last time, so like that's how long it is.
Shave it, you bum. Well, guys, I really want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you guys. Again, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And to everybody who's taken time out of their Saturday to come and nerd out with us, thank you so much for doing that. If you guys like today's content, please smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. That's also greatly appreciated. And send us your feedback about the discussion we're having about today. So what is the discussion? Today we are discussing the question, is it possible to complete a comic book collection? Now I kind of want to have like sort of a disclaimer here on sort of the aspect where I'm attacking this discussion. So the discussion, my angle at it is pretty much, when does comic book collecting come to an end for a collector? When can they, buy that last comic book and say, I have completed my collection. I'm happy with everything I have. I'm going to enjoy it now. And I'm done collecting because there's just nothing else for me to collect anymore. So that's pretty much sort of the angle I'm approaching it. Let's go to, well, who wants to take it first? Okay. What do you guys think about this? So when do you think, is it possible to complete a comic book collection? Or is there always something new to buy?
Well, this could be the shortest show in the world. No.
Yeah. Next topic.
This is the equivalent, isn't it, of Thanos and his multitude of years building up, right, to do the snap, get rid of half the population, and then he can sit in his garden and just sit back, go, do you know what? I've done what I've set out to do. I can make some soup now, whatever, and chill out.
Get your head chopped off by Thor.
Yeah, just like that. It's a strange one because I think we all have our grails that we want to get and certain books, and we either save up for them or go into a little bit of debt to get them. Don't tell Amanda. But then you think, right, I've got that. I'm happy. But then you have this, as a collector, you have this yearning, don't you? Mm-hmm. To have more.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But it's not just that, though, is it? It's like, well, it obviously is a yearning, but like somebody posts a picture up of a book and you just see it and you think, you know what?
I might want to get that. Yeah, exactly. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
And it's also about like the whole spec game too. I mean, YouTube is plagued with all sorts of videos with, this is the top 10 spec books, or buy these comic books now. And, it's all about speculation. So that's going to get more collectors to go after these new hot books. So this is what I mean. Like when does it come to an end, or is there ever an end to it? So before we go more into discussion about this, okay, so before the show, I take the link and I post it on other Facebook groups, and of course, people comment on those posts and have to put their 2 cents in. And it's like, of course it's possible. One person said, just pick a independent comic book company with a an early run, a run that's canceled, and that there you go. That's you've completed that collection. And again, I'm not saying so much about completing a run. I had another person say that I'm 2 issues away or so from collecting all the Amazing Spider-Man books. So, like, to the person who commented, it was Luke from Hydra Collectibles. If once you buy those 2 issues, are you done? Are you done buying stuff? That's the whole thought of it for me. So, Mikey, you're awfully quiet. You want to jump in on this?
Well, even if you are just 2 issues away from completing a run, it would take so much restraint to stop yourself dipping into something else. So I think the temptation is always there. I originally started with Venom, then I quickly went to Amazing Spider-Man, then it's like Avengers, X-Men. It's like, where does it stop? And every opportunity you go to opens up a new door, and you start thinking, like, I've never really done DC, but I'm still after some DC books just because they're iconic, and I like the art as well. So does it ever stop? No,
I don't think so. No, I mean, so like I'm sure there is somebody out there. This person is probably a unicorn where they collected something and like, no, I know my limits. I don't want to spend any more on this. This is pretty much where I'm at, and this is where I'm gonna lay low and stop. But I've never heard of this person. I've never seen this person.
Well, the thing is, these comics aren't like films. They're continuing to produce new comics with new storylines. Introduce new characters. There's always something going on. We just had the Star Wars run by Marvel and IDW. I decided to jump on to that because I like the Star Wars universe, but it's the starting point for me. So. Do you know what I mean? I've gone from Venom to Spider-Man to X-Men to Star Wars to dabbling in Batman.
Right.
Exactly. So I think you can complete a run, yes, but then within that run, are you happy with the issues within that run? Because if you've got low grade, you always want a higher grade. So you're thinking, oh, I've got a 7.0. Shall I upgrade to an 8.0? Right. And then the next step is a 9, and then a 9. It doesn't stop.
Very good point, Mikey. Very good. That was a really good point to brush up on, because once you complete it, there's also that possibility, like, oh, this book is in low condition, and maybe I want to upgrade it. And I can say that's happened to me many times too. When I first got back into comic book collecting, I didn't care about condition. I just wanted the book. That's all that mattered to me. It was about that book, as long as it didn't look like toilet paper, of course. But I would just buy that book. But now, over the years, it's happened where I'm like, ooh, like, I should probably upgrade that book. So that was a definite good point to bring up there, Mikey. We have a couple of people who are chiming in, and I want to highlight their comments as well. Yeah. We got Comic Live Better in the house. Comic runs or small collections, yes, but comic collecting as a whole, I don't think so. You'll always want more, and that's the whole point of the show. Like, I've never heard of these people who stopped comic book collecting and be like, yeah, I'm over it. Like, this is where I need to be. We got Triple G Comics in the house as well. I completed, in quotations, my collection and sold it all 16 years ago as I needed the money when my first child came. Picked up collecting again about 5 years ago, and I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon. We got Paul, Sector 2815. How many collectors have stopped collecting for a time for whatever reason, only to return? And that was going to be my next thing. So thank you, Paul, for that segue, because that was my next thing I was going to bring up. I feel like the only time someone completes a comic book collection, or more of the term is where they left off, is when they get into financial trouble, or they lose interest in it, and they'll pull out the collection a few years down the road to show, like, I don't know, maybe their kid or something, like, yeah, this is what I was into at a time, and this is where I left off. So I think there's always more of that left off term. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm aware of a couple of people who've actually stopped collecting because they got the market outpriced them. So, like a few months ago when the comic market just went crazy, they realized their limitations, I guess, and thought, well, it's no longer fun collecting. I'm never going to achieve what I really want. So,
Because it
and
is
they ended up
overwhelming. It can be
yeah,
daunting.
absolutely. And they ended up selling their collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
there
in
are
that
people
point,
out there.
that they've done. So technically, they're done. If they've sold their collection, unless they get the book back, then they have completed it as far as they're
Yeah,
concerned.
but
So,
they might sell their collection now, and then if the market crashes a little bit, then they can start collecting again. They'll see, I sold that book like 2 years ago for like triple the price. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you gets you back into collecting again because you think, well, I can afford that now.
Right. And I kind of get that too, because when I mean, I've always been a lover of these characters, a lover of comic books, but of course, I think out of the years we've been collecting, we all can say that we've taken a break from reading, but we've always had a love for the characters, and that's happened to me multiple times. Where when I first got back into it, and I was like, man, I still have all my old comics in the closet, no bag, no board or anything. They're just up there chilling, and I'm like, man, I gotta go take those down because I want to see where I left off, and that's the key word, words left off. You know what I mean? Everybody has a leaving point and a returning point. So to the people who are coming in and putting in your 2 cents in it, I really appreciate this, guys. Because that's the whole point of the show, is to get some feedback and see where you guys think. Peter Lidbetter, our taste changed. I collected nothing other than Spider-Man until I started watching JP comic unboxing videos, and then I wanted more. And no, I can't stop the train. So, like,
Really sorry, dude. Really
and now, how many times has this happened to you? Where, like in Peter's case, where you're collecting one character, you're a diehard character, and I've always been a diehard Spider-Man and Batman fan. How many times have you collected this character for so long, and then something piques your interest? And when was the last time that's happened for you?
what do you mean, with the same character or like?
So I'm saying. So when you, to a point where you collected a character and read this character for so long, where, I don't know, maybe something happened in the MCU where this character came out and you gained interest to this character, or there was just a character that you picked up on and you're like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna start pursuing this. For example, again, I was a diehard Batman, Spider-Man, Venom fan, and I got my interest got piqued into Swamp Thing all of a sudden, and then I became a huge Swamp Thing fan. This is about 4 or 5 years ago now. I want to say 4 years ago. So when's the last time something like that has happened to you, where it just starts a whole new effect, and now you're collecting everything from this character now, plus the ones that you originally already liked?
I suppose for myself, it was a couple of years ago when Moon Knight was started sort of being banded around, and I had to get that Werewolf by Night 32, and then the 33, and then Moon Knight 1, and all the other keys that came along with it. And then I started to fall in love with the Bill Sienkiewicz artwork. He, and I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably butchered the name. Sorry about that.
I've heard it so many different ways.
Sorry, Bill.
Sorry, Bill. I know he's watching, so sorry, dude. Yeah,
You better be watching.
He does some amazing artwork and highly collectible. But that, for me, that Moon Knight was the one. I mean, I had the Spider-Man and Venom. I think Spider-Man was probably the first stuff really I got into. But yeah, for me, it was Moon Knight. What about you guys?
Same, exactly the same with Moon Knight, but anything like Marvel horror now. So Ghost Rider's tickling my fancy now.
Yeah. And I've gone proper old school. I'm doing Doctor Strange.
That's cool. And
just
so,
because he's in the MCU still. So
and so like before then, so I said I use Swamp Thing as an example, and Swamp Thing is one of my favorite characters, but I too have to say that Moon Knight is one of the ones that has made me change gears yet again, and now I'm collecting things with Moon Knight, which is kind of shocking because I don't usually get into the hype, but Moon Knight was one of those characters that was on my list with Swamp Thing. I just picked Swamp Thing over Moon Knight sooner, but Moon Knight was one of those characters that was on my to-do list to read and get more into this character because I had an interest in this character. Of course, now with everything going on with the MCU and the Disney Plus series, maybe want to get these books before they got even crazier than what they are right now. So again, this is the whole effect. When does it stop? Because it doesn't seem like there's always a whole new interest. Now, here's another thing. Okay, we all had our answers about when's the last time we got into a new character that made us change gears. What about an artist? Has this ever happened to you with an artist now? Because again, I'm a huge Todd McFarlane fan, and then once I started getting to older Silver Age, around the Batman Neil Adams time, that's when I started switching gears, and it kept happening more and more. Like John Byrne, you know what I mean? I was familiar with John Byrne, and I like X-Men. What's a good starting point for X-Men? The John Byrne run. So you know what I mean? So when's the last time that's happened to you with an artist?
Well, for me, I think it was quite a recent artist, Peach Momoko. Listen, right? I'm going to explain my thought process behind this as best as I can. She's very much like Marmite, isn't she? And I'm sorry for the guys in the States who don't know what Marmite is. It's one of these foods that you either love it or you hate it.
Vegemite.
It's yeast extract.
Yeah, it's like a brown goop, and it tastes funny. So people either love it or that they hate it, and that's the same with Peach Momoko. I would say that
or Vegemite.
In the early days, Vegemite. Yeah, I would say that in the early days of Peach Momoko, her work was more exclusive prior to her getting signed on to Marvel, and very distinct. I think the trouble is now, because she's contracted with Marvel, she's throwing the work out there, and I'm finding personally some of the work now isn't as impressive as her earlier stuff. And in fact, to a point now, I've kind of gone off for a little bit. But I think something new, if something new comes in that's fresh and changes things, a bit like, I don't know, Shannon Meyer, maybe. He did some of that great sort of artwork, which had always had that sort of maybe like 3/4 profile. But again, is again a bit samey, you know. So I suppose I'm a bit like a magpie. If I see something new and exciting, I sort of grasp onto it, you know. And then I take it, and then over time I go, oh, don't want anymore. Let's go back to the old stuff, because you cannot beat
the
copper,
old stuff.
bronze, silver age, golden age. I mean, we never talk about golden age, guys, personally, because it's way out of my reach. Golden age stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Just forget it.
That's a whole different ballpark, isn't it?
Absolutely. Whereas at the moment, the silver age stuff, it's still attainable, isn't it? You know, I was in a comic shop this morning and I saw some silver age books. They weren't really keys, but you had your Superboys and some early Superman, early Batman, and they were going for like $7, something like that, $5. Still really, you know, and they had the 12 cents, some had the 10 cents logo. So they're still easily attainable. You can't get anything like that in Golden Age. Forget it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally. Or anything, certainly even pre-code, you know, pre-code stuff. So, yeah.
James, Mikey, what about you for artists that made you kind of switch over gears and made you go down a hole, down a rabbit hole of collecting these books for an artist?
This wasn't recently, but it was pretty much Neil Adams with the the Batman. So basically, Batman 251, 232. I know these are just keys anyway, but like I had to get them because the artwork's great, and obviously, like for investment purposes, they're great as well.
Would you have got them if they weren't keys, though?
Yeah, probably for the covers. Yeah. They would have been cover buys, but they're great covers, but also keys. So
easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what makes those keys is because they're cover buys. It's an iconic cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even I know like that Phantom Stranger cover 14, is it? We all love that cover.
Yeah, that is a great
That's
cover.
Neil Adams. But yeah, and Tomb of Dracula 1, Neil Adams.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, these are just keys I'm naming off, but they're just Neil. It was Neil Adams for me. I've always been like Kev, Todd McFarlane fan. No one draws Spidey better than for me. But
I'm going to be a little controversial here. I mean, I like Todd McFarlane, right?
Mute him.
Do you find that a lot of his work can be quite busy, a lot going on, and lots and lots of line work?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I suppose he's going for detail, but sometimes some of his covers can look a little bit too
overkill.
Well, let's look at ASM 298 and 299.
Oh yeah, they're very busy. Sorry, Todd, if you're watching.
Yeah,
Todd, I still love you. I'll meet you for a drink tonight if you want.
I mean, the ASM 300 iconic cover, beautiful cover, fantastic. But you look at 298, 299, which, by the way, look very similar. You can get confused between the two covers.
True.
Yeah. To me, if he hadn't have done the 300 and that was just his only two pieces of work, I wouldn't have been that impressed.
Yeah,
interesting.
Just my thoughts.
I've been kind of neglecting the chat section here for a little bit. I'm way behind. We got Legion of Comics. I definitely stopped collecting heavy for a while here and there, and I only grabbed old trades for cheap at random to read. Can't go wrong with trades. I'm also relatively new to collecting. I'm never going to own a complete ASM. Never say never. I've set on an achievable goal to complete Venom. A few pricey issues, of course, but I think I can do it. I think you can do it as well, buddy.
Yeah.
Legion of Comics Swamp Thing is a good one to chase. Yes, it is, man. I will defend Swamp Thing till the death, dude. Swamp Thing is just one of those things for me. I love it. Paul, I have stopped collecting heavily for a while, but there were certain titles I had to keep collecting because I had so many straight issues. My OCD wouldn't let me stop.
Yeah.
And for Paul, it was George Perez that made him switch over and go to another black hole. QE, it stops when you stop watching content and you simply don't hear about news and so on, and from when you don't know about new stuff that attracts you.
Yeah, a lot of it is FOMO, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. Again, it's about FOMO or spec, and that's what gets people into that black hole again, where they're just constantly, I gotta collect that now. And it happens a lot too, where I can say that I haven't even completed my Amazing Spider-Man run for Todd McFarlane, and again, this is not collecting or completing a run, a collection, but completing a run. But where I'll put that on pause now. I'm going after this now. You know what I mean? So it's and it can actually get stressful sometimes, can it?
Oh yeah, because it takes up a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah.
If you're constantly searching for like the same old books and it's just constantly looking, the amount of times that you open up the eBay app, search it, you look on Facebook or whatever, look on Instagram, and you don't see those books for sale, the more you think, I'm just going to move on to something else.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you move on to something else, and then a bit down the line you see one of those books up for sale, and you're like,
yeah,
I've got to get that now. Yeah. And then it starts again, the ball's rolling again, and it's like being in a hamster wheel, isn't it?
It kind of is, yeah.
Getting off and then going back on.
Yeah, you get off of a hamster wheel just to get on a different one.
Basically, we're just like heroin addicts.
It is.
We're addicted, and if we can't, we'll always go on to something else. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
a very addictive hobby. I remember getting back into it, and I remember, all these mail calls coming to the house. And my wife being like, what is all this? I'm like, I go, I know, I'll be better next week, I'll be better next month. Still haven't gotten better.
How crap is it when you are expecting something in the post and it doesn't come, and you got nothing come in the mail? You're like,
yeah, the postman hasn't been. You just
yeah.
What's going on? Where is it?
Yeah. Where's my stuff, man?
You know, you were talking about the amount of time that you spend like on eBay and whatnot. I'm just going to very quickly show you on my iPhone here.
On
right?
the screen time, is it?
This week, yeah. So you got Key Collector
Oh
app,
my gosh. How much time do you spend
Facebook
on the
Messenger.
King Collector app?
20
all
hours.
the time, all the time. And look, you got eBay there. I don't know what is that. 5 hours? Is it in a week?
Pornhub. What's that?
That was a good one.
Ex-hamster.
This is not paid promotion,
It's
Borrow.
constant. It is constant, guys. It is constant. The
Yeah.
amount of times, right, I'm either looking at Key Collector app or I'm looking at like CGC to give me an update. Here's the other thing. I think that there's something on the Facebook pages the other day about it. How often do people press that refresh button on the CGC website to see if it's going to change? You keep pressing it. It's not going to change, but you think it will. It's ridiculous.
And you sit there with it open all day and just refresh.
Yeah. Refresh. Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on eBay and also Facebook Marketplace because there's some times where you can get a lot of really great deals on Facebook Marketplace. Pepsi Max,
Cherry.
We haven't seen that in a while.
Nope.
Oh.
So what are people saying in the chat then, guys?
So what they're saying, we have Comic Grub 360 still working on my ASM collection. A local mentioned in talks about getting 252, 298, and 299. Fingers crossed.
I think like, you know, what is it? 430 is it for Spider-Man Volume Series 1?
Yeah.
So like for me, I think I own about 250 to 280 of that maybe. And like I just gave up. Just sick of, I mean, anything between 100 to 130 is just ridiculous.
Phil's Nerdyverse is reading my mind right here. This was gonna be my next question for you guys. What are your current collecting goals as of right now? So what are you after right now?
Anything and everything.
I'm after something big.
You're after something big.
Yeah. And it's only just come to fruition.
You're after that giant sized man thing?
No, I've already got that.
Nice.
No, I'm after, and I've never thought I'd be saying this. I'm after a Hulk 181.
My
Whoa.
boy. Go get it. Are you going after a blue label?
Well, yeah, blue label.
What grade?
A 4.0.
Wow.
So the dilemma is when a grail becomes available, and you obviously look at what you've got, you take stock, you think how much money spare income have I got, what have I got in my savings, what books can I sell, and you just think like, I mean, I hate selling books. There's nothing that more gives me anxiety of selling books. Like you can send them all off, and then people are like, oh no, it's arrived damaged, or there's something wrong with it, or blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And yes, that always I just get total anxiety over it. But I mean, I'm thinking about taking out a loan to get it, and then just paying the loan off with selling stuff over time.
That's interesting. I actually thought about doing that for a giant size X-Men recently.
Yeah, and then like I don't mind paying off. You know, if it's like what $150 a month. I don't mind paying that off in the long term. I don't know. We'll see.
It's not a bad idea.
But I just don't think I'm going to get this opportunity again.
So is the Hulk 181 close by?
Basically, Jason's offered it to me.
Oh.
And funny enough, QUE said my tip for getting a Hulk 181 is asking Jason for his keys. So it's like he can read our minds. What man?
I think the chat is doing a really good job of reading our minds today.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're all in tune today. So let's go back to what are some of our collecting goals for the future. So we got James after a Hulk winning one. Mikey,
Go on.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it wasn't actually going to be that because I didn't think that was going to be obtainable or will be able to get one. But it was Fantastic Four 48. But now I've quickly switched over. That's dead in the water.
Change
that one
gears.
is. Yeah, change gears.
I mean, it's definitely worth it for a Hulk winning one, man. I mean, that is the book to own. That's the book almost everybody wants to own.
Yeah.
I say go for it. Mikey, what do you got for collecting goals?
At the moment, I'm not going to go for anything massive. I'm a strong believer of stay within your means, so I'm just going to stick to getting raw minor keys for the moment. I've got so much stuff I need to grade with CGC. I've got second. I'm being outpriced on first appearances, so I'm having to pick up second appearances in order to just stop my craving. Otherwise, I would just be constantly looking at first appearances. And I think at the moment it's more achievable for me to get second or third appearances, which are slightly lower. But as the market goes up for the first appearances, the second appearances should start to climb as well. So I've taken a different view, to most people. I'm happy, having the second and the third appearances because I don't think I'm ever going to own some of the first appearances because they're just way out of my league.
To be fair, though, Mike, you've got quite an impressive collection of comics now. So is it something you thought of maybe like if you sold some of your second appearance and third appearance, maybe just pooling some money together to get that like one big grail, maybe?
I'm like James. I don't really like selling anything unless I've got a duplicate or I can I've got an upgrade in and I'll sell the old one because to me I'd rather have it than not have it with the second and the third appearances because there might be a time down the road where I've got like a couple of second appearances of somebody and I could fund that to move on to a first appearance as the prices move up. But yeah.
It's oh, sorry.
Yes, sorry. I was going to say in the chat there, Daniel has said, what about the Spidey Mobile?
I still haven't got that.
I think we should just get him it.
Yeah. Let's just all chip in and do it.
Get it in for Christmas.
I'm happy to do that.
I have not seen that issue for sale anywhere since I said, "Oh yeah," it's because at the time it was like a £5-7 book. Now it's like a £10-12 book, and I still can't see it anywhere. I'm just like, oh man, I know the Spider-Mobile, but
I think the difficult thing, especially like what Jason said about selling books to get a bigger book, is I could easily sell like some CGC books and afford to buy the Hulk 181, but I can't.
It's not that
I can't part with them. I can't part with them.
Jason, are you giving him the mates rates deal?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is people say sell it on, but they don't understand how long you spent looking at that issue, getting that issue, sending it off to CGC, having the heart attack when it was coming back about what grade it is. So much time and effort has gone into everything that I've sent grading. I just, even for simple books, it could be like 2-3 hours compared to 10, 15 hours, 20 hours I've been searching on eBay for the perfect copy.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of time to take away from. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I really resent having to sell.
It's like you, Kev. You could afford to buy so many massive books if you sold some of those ASM 300s
and the Secret Wars,
and the Secret Wars 8s. But I choose not to, and because I rather have those books than some big keys.
There you go.
It's just how much I love that book. It is ridiculous that I have 8 copies of that book, but man, having all those together, you have no idea how much like joy that brings me. It's just like, look at all of these 300s, like, but
you sleep with them and everything.
more than that.
Oh,
Crispy white pages.
yeah, nobody. No wonder nobody wants to buy them.
See, that's why they're low grade now.
Yeah.
So like some of like my goals. So first off, okay, I had a package come in the mail today. It's my birthday weekend, so I got myself a nice book along with something else that I'm waiting for. This is going to be my last book for the year.
Oh,
And
Really?
which is I think is going to be a challenge, of course, but it's got to be. It's got to be my last book for the year because this year I have spent the most money on comic books I have on any other year.
Oh man,
It's crazy. So I'll be unboxing that. But so for goals for comic book collecting, I got to be all done for this year of buying books. I got to be, and like maybe like floppies like New Comic Book Day. Like I only buy one book maybe a week or maybe a month. I only read Swamp Thing, but for next year, the big key will be a giant size X-Men #1. That's the big comic book. Yeah, I can show you guys my. I don't know if you guys do this, but I have notes on the books I want to buy on my.
Oh my goodness
phone.
me!
So we have my Neil Adams books that I want to get signed here,
yeah.
and I have some of the books that I'm looking to get. And so we have like a Batman 227 and 80 8.5, Hulk 180 and a qualified grade for a 6.0, so I can match my 181. We also have the upgrades here, possible upgrades. I have like a little question mark, like upgrades. Should I upgrade these? And for the Mega Grail, we have the giant size X-Men #1. So that's how I do it. And this list has so again, kind of going back to our question. Can you complete a comic book collection? I have never seen this notes page blank. It only gets diminished by one item, and things just keep getting added onto it. There's even stuff that I have in my head that I haven't even put on this list yet, like Godzilla slabs.
I think everybody's written list is smaller than what's in their head because everything that's in your head is massive keys. I mean, like you know, you wouldn't pass up an opportunity to buy an AF-15 if the price was right and you had the money. So
yeah,
and that's not on your list. So
and so like this is kind of going back to what you're saying. I kind of stay in my lane there. Like I can buy these books, and I'll tell you, I mean, when I bought my my Werewolf by Night 32, that was the most expensive book I have ever purchased, and I was shitting a brick when I was paying for that thing. And so like sometimes like when you break a whole new threshold, you're like, man, like it almost kind of starts a different rabbit hole. Like if I bought that book for that much, like why don't I buy that book for that amount? And then you kind of have to kind of control yourself. It's almost like the Batman code. Like if Batman goes and kills someone, he knows that he won't go back from that and just gonna start killing his villains. But like so like again, going back to what Mikey said, like I could buy an AF-15. Okay, a very low grade AF-15, a 1.0. I could buy one. I choose not to, though. I choose not to because I feel like that book is completely out of my realm. And
here's the thing, though, mate. Do you think, right? Again, going back to the Thanos thing, that's the ultimate grail for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah. Ultimate.
Do you think if you manage to get that amazing fancy 15, right, albeit low grade 1.0, do you think you could sit back on your throne, okay, and go, shit, man, I've done it. This is it.
no,
I don't need to collect comics anymore.
I don't think that. I don't even think that would. Well, I would say that because I would be broke. I would be like, I better not be buying any more comic books after this one.
no.
But I mean, I don't think so. I would have more pleasure of owning my 300 or 300s than an AF-15.
Yeah, you may not have a roof over your head, but you got a CGC slab.
I got an amazing Fantasy 15. I'm bulletproof, baby. Let me go back to some of the comments here.
I do agree with you, Kev. Like this past year, I've spent more on comic books than I have probably in my whole entire life.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because I've gotten crazier or if it's because of the market went crazy. It could be a little bit both, actually. It could be.
Do you not think that doing YouTubers
Yes,
part to play as well?
I do.
Yes.
Content.
I do. I do believe that as well, and that's kind of that was another one of my reasons why I took a break from the channel a little bit, because it's like, oh, this is content. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that. Oh, I got to show people what I have in the mail now, and not that so much I feel like I need to, but it's just like it's something that clicks in your brain, like, oh, I bought this. Might as well show it off and get some views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I kind of took a chill pill from the YouTubes. Let's see. I don't know where I left off on the chat. I really appreciate you guys coming in and talking away. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to write them in. If I had a AF-15, I would sell it as soon as possible and buy horror comics. There you go, buddy. That's the spirit. Comic Grub 360, Amazing Fantasy 15 is my end game for my Amazing Spider-Man collection.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to have one, but I just feel like that book has such a title and such a status where it's like, I don't know if I can handle that.
but don't you guys think, like, if you were like a millionaire or a billionaire, like, comic collecting would be boring because you could just buy whatever you want, and there'd be no.
Yeah, it's the thrill of the chase, isn't it?
It's the thrill.
It's the thrill. It's the getting it for as cheap as possible.
Yeah,
for the best grade possible. You know, and even if you were a billionaire, you can only buy what's for sale at the time, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
So even then, you'd still be looking to upgrade. So you can say you have all the money in the world, but if you can, I mean, how much would it cost to buy every single comic in the world? I don't know. That's ever been produced up until now. I wouldn't even like to think of it. I don't think even Elon Musk could do it.
I think he could.
I think he probably could.
Yeah. What I would say is this as well. That, I mean, that's Amazing Fantasy 9.6. It's up for sale on Heritage Auctions. It's still going. I think it's got 4 more days left, maybe. And it's currently at $2.8 million.
Wow.
That includes the buyer's premium. I think it's something like 2.3 million with a £400,000 or £500,000 buyer's premium. Wow. So again, I think by the end of the auction, it's going to easily hit the 3 million mark, I think.
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. So, guys, all right. Here's the point of where we are at the show. Okay, what would it take for your comic book collection to be complete if it were to ever get there?
Do you want to know what my grail is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so if this one grail, Jason, would complete your comic book collection, and you would stop buying comics to add to your collection.
I don't think Jason would stop buying comics.
I wouldn't stop. No, because it's just never enough.
So that there you go. That's the answer to this whole entire show, because he goes, here's the grail that I would get. But then, no, I would buy more books. So it just never
It'd be enough for some people, I think. But for me, it's not. It's never enough.
No, I think
we all want to accumulate, don't we? We all want to.
We're called collectors for a reason. That's why
collectors
we like to collect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's why we don't like selling stuff, because we collect it. We don't want to uncollect it or decollect it. I don't know what the right word is, but we want to accumulate.
Well, we get what you mean.
Until we hoard stuff. We hoard stuff, even down to the blimmin' comic mailers, the Gemini mailers. I've got like 300 of them in my garage. I don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah, but I think basically what Kev's probably trying to get at is that what if you were given an opportunity to swap your entire comic collection for one comic?
Ooh,
would you? And would you be happy?
And would you just be happy with that one comic?
And so let's just say, Magic Genie said, you can swap all your comic collection that you've got now for any comic in any grade. Would you stop?
I think that's a great question.
That wasn't my question, but that was a fantastic question, though.
Get the guys in the chat to let us have their answers because I want to see what they got to say. Honestly,
Yeah, and which comic would you choose as well? Because
I think it's got.
everyone will go for an Action Comics or an AF-15 in a 10.0. Oh, you could have
Again,
anything.
I'd
Swap
probably be
it.
a Tech 27, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, Tech 27.
Again, I honestly, okay, would not trade anything for what I have now.
Right, okay, but if someone said to you, you can have a Detective Comics 27 in whatever grade, but you just got to hand over your
No.
entire collection.
They told him it's a 10.0 for his whole collection. That's it. Would you do it?
Okay,
And
I know this
and
is
stop.
I know this is theoretic, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
But I put so
Is it
much
really?
time. I put so much time, effort, money into the collection I have now. My collection is so personal and so unique because nobody else has the same collection as I have. And so I would keep with what I have and forget about that book. I don't have that book now.
Okay,
Yeah, but-
well, can I ask another question then? Right, we're talking about collecting, right? What is this fascination, right, with people collecting CGC comics of the same grades? So it matches. It matches.
Oh, it's distracted his camera.
I could have a 9.2, but
He
no, I'll settle for a 4.0. Oh,
He shoved his cable down his mouth.
What's going on here?
Paul, Kevin would get a 9th ASM 300. Yeah, I think I would do that.
Definitely, Paul.
I don't know what the deal with this. You know, one of the funny things was when I first got back into collecting and I was on IG, I would see people post for multiple Comic Monday. I'd be like, why would people want multiples of the same book? And I immediately got the bug. Immediately, I was like, now, I don't know why this makes sense, but it makes sense to have 6 Spider-Man #1s. It's a great cover, man.
That's because, mate, you're not a collector, you're a hoarder.
That's the difference.
Give it to me. Oh, yeah.
My precious.
My precious, yeah. What else do we have here? Let's see. QE, wouldn't you simply destroy the value of the Tech 27 if you getting it traded for a $10,000 collection, $10,000 collection?
This is theoretically. It was,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
But let's just say, you know, we're talking about a comic that's worth millions of dollars in a decent condition, right? You could trade that and you could do whatever you wanted with for that Tech 27, whatever you wanted. Your family would be set for life.
But you just couldn't comic collect again. You'd just start something else, wouldn't you?
You start collecting Funko Pops, wouldn't you?
You'd have to build a house just for all those Funko Pops you'd buy with the money.
And if anybody wants to chime in with any sort of questions, that's what we're here for. And you guys can let us know too. Where give me a percentage about the completion of your comic book collection. So like again, I just sometimes I just feel like it's because there's multiple things. I have a space issue. You know what I mean? I can't have a bunch of boxes of comic books everywhere. I have 5 short boxes of books of back issues, which is not a lot. I really do consider my comic book collection relatively pretty small compared to other people's. With including 50 slabs. I think that's how many slabs I have. But I think maybe do you guys think also a space is sort of an issue where people like I ran out of space for it, like I'm done collecting?
I think to a certain degree, yeah. I mean, I moved house recently just to get some more space. Now, as you know from my videos, I've got a comic room with a nice wall now of stuff. But I'm in the living room, and if you take a look over here,
oh my gosh,
what is there? That's all Amanda's.
Look all that bubble wrap.
Oh, I know, it's crazy. Sorry about the washing.
That's just a fetish thing, that is, isn't it? That's what that is.
Possibly.
The bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And duct tape. So it is an issue, mate. It is an issue. But I think what happens, right? Like anything else, you'll go to your limits and then go over your limits.
Mhm.
So what'll happen? Like I say, I've created that room, but then it spills over. It just spills over.
Avalanche.
Stuff starts going in the attic. Is that what it's called in the US? An attic or loft? What do you even call it?
Attic,
You
yeah.
know, it's just crazy. It's bonkers, and that's because I cannot stop buying books. Please help me.
Somebody help us all.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but that is an issue with a lot of people. When they first start out, they buy a lot of books, and then they find their niche, and then they go on to start collecting that niche while still having the older books. And and you also buy things and you read things, and you think, I'll never read this again. So it's taking up space, and space
rid of
is a major issue. But the thing is like a lot of comic books, you'll struggle to get cover price for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless though they are classed as a key.
It's true. It's true.
Can
and
I talk? Sorry, can I talk about the psychology of collecting a little bit? I'm no
yes.
psychologist, right? But
Do you have an hour?
It seems to me that men in general, and I don't want to sort of tar brush everyone here with the same thing, but I think that men have this need to collect and hoard things, no matter what it is. All right. So it could be football programs, it could be badges, it could be stamps, it could be coins. They have to collect things.
Yeah,
I
would
know
say
so many blokes that collect things.
I would say I know more collectors who are male than female. I mean, my wife likes to collect books, and that's a whole other issue. My wife likes to collect books, and recently she just I don't know, it was the other day, she was just like, I can't stand having all these books around. I've read them. I'm never going to read them again. I've obtained the information I need on them. Wow, Jason just got younger all of a sudden. And we ended up dumping 3 trash bags full of books to donate. But yeah, I mean, I think I would have to agree that I see more male collectors. We got some people coming in and talking about their percentage of the collection of the question I asked. I would say that I have 5% because there are just so many Golden Age books and Strange Keys that I'll finally get. Golden Age. I have not dipped my toe in that yet. Probably 60%, probably around 30, 50 issues away from completely completing Amazing Spider-Man. Got OMD awards and various others before it got but gas shrinking. I got confused about that. Mr. Comics 89, I'm at 93.6% cosmic of my ASM run. Yes, Matt has quite the Amazing Spider-Man collection. He's very, very close to completing the complete Amazing Spider-Man run. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got quite the collection. Let's see. Hey, Amanda. It goes back to when men were the hunter-gatherers. It's the gathering part.
It could well be. That
Could well
be. Yeah, definitely.
The psychology behind it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're close to the hour, right? And so we went through all aspects that we possibly could with this number one question, but now let's get to cut and dry. Is it possible to complete a comic book collection? Yes or no, James?
It is possible, but it's not for me. I don't think.
I like how you approach that. It's not for me. I like that. That was good. Jason?
There are some people out there who are happy with their lot. I'm not. And I would continue collecting no matter what, I believe. Yeah. So no.
I believe for some people, they just, after a certain run, and then that's it. But there's always something new coming out. There's, you always get pulled in a different direction. So if you are a genuine comic collector, then I'd probably say, unless you got the biggest, you own a bank, basically, you're never going to have everything. And even then, you're going to not stop collecting because you're going to want to upgrade. So no.
Very good answer. And my answer, and again, just kind of like recap, there's been many times where people get in financial situations where they can't collect anymore. We just talked about running out of space. We talked about spec, FOMO,
being priced out of the market as well.
being priced out of the market. So if you're a fiend of a comic book collector like I am, like my guests are here, and everybody who is watching, the journey never ends until you say, I can't do this anymore. So I want to say no. I've heard of people saying that they've completed their comic book collection, but if you're still buying, then no, you have not completed your comic book collection. And this was a great discussion, guys.
I was just about to say, mate, this is a very great topic to talk about.
Yeah.
We covered a lot in an hour as well, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
Yeah, we did. We did. Oh, look, Paul, right there. Great discussion, all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate it. So, like I said, if you're continuing to buy, you can complete a run. But if you're buying and if you're just adding more and more to what you have, no.
And then you also get, if you buy a run, then do you go and buy the CGC SS versions of them as well?
Yeah.
By the cover artist. You see, you open up a whole new world.
It just goes rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and again, that was the whole point of the discussion as well. Jason,
Other grading companies are available.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. I want to thank everybody for watching, but don't go yet. There's a little bit more. Why don't you guys talk about a little bit what you guys going on your channels? Whoopee cushion. Okay, all right. I guess that's it for today's show, guys. Thank you.
Do you want to go? If you got anything, Jace?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Some massive
Talk
news. I'm going to be doing a subscriber giveaway, guys. And
What?
I'm going for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm currently at around about 1,400 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so for a chance of winning this fantastic Peach Momoko.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
No joke. Giving this away. It's a 9.8. Virgin variant of the facsimile of Spider-Man 1, and I will also be throwing some other special comics as well for the lucky winners. So please go ahead and subscribe to me. But thank you very much for watching my channel and supporting me. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
And to anybody who's watching, all of the links to these gentlemen's channels are in this video's description down below.
Jace, is that one of those covers by Peach Momoko that you don't like? Is that why you're giving it away?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure. Look, at the end of the day, someone's going to appreciate it, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a free comic for someone.
It's a free book. That's exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that won't be the only thing, okay, guys? So I might throw in something special as well. Well,
Ooh.
more special.
Sounds interesting.
MJ Comics, what you guys got?
So we've got nothing. We've got nothing at the moment, but Mike is going to set me a challenge because we did his challenge last week.
Ooh, that was a great video. I like that video a lot. That was a great idea.
Mikey did really well with that, to be fair, didn't you, Mikey?
I like to think so, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've just got to think of a challenge for me. Somebody said there was a suggested challenge for me that I needed to sell the books that Mikey had bought for that money and make a profit.
That's
cool. A great idea.
It is a great idea, but I don't think Mikey will want to give away. So yeah, it was a good idea.
It was a good idea. So I have taken on board some others because people have messaged me personally to say that this is what they think the challenge should be. So I'm just mulling over it. So anybody who knows me, or just get on the Insta or message me privately. What kind of challenge should I set for James? Now it has to be achievable, whatever it is. So yeah, just let us know, and then I can set that challenge.
Yeah, if you think there's something that, I just feel like it's going to be like 10 times harder for me. I think.
Why?
Feedback is always welcomed.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're not singing and you still got your top on, that'll be all right.
Yeah, and we might try and film a video about how to fund a grail or something maybe as well. I might have
Hey,
to.
I had that idea too.
Oh,
Let's do it together.
let's do it together. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So we've reached the hour again. To my friends, thank you so much for hanging out. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys.
It's always the best, mate. Well, we love you.
Love being
Indeed.
here. Love being here.
Of course. And to everybody, he disconnected himself again. To everybody who's watching, real quick. So to anybody who's watching, thank you so much for coming by, watching, sending in your comments for part of the discussion. I really appreciate you all. We had 20 people at one time coming in, and that means a lot to me. As you guys know, I've been taking a little bit of break from YouTube, and I'm going to continue that break for a little bit after today. But first, I will be taking the break once I unbox my birthday gift. So it's going to be my birthday this Monday. I got one of the birthday gifts in today, and I'm waiting on another one. So I'm going to be recording and posting those on the channel, and I'm going to continue my break for a little bit
So
longer.
you're going to unbox the stripper that Jason sent for you?
Yes, if that's what it is. Thank you. Thank you. But guys, again, thank you so much. Stay tuned. Continue to show your support. If you guys would like to share this video, that would be greatly appreciated as well. And one last thing before I go too, I am working on a video for the channel. I've been working on it for about 10 to 12 hours. It's coming out really cool. It's something that I have never ever done on the channel before. So it's different, and it's taking a little bit of time. It's going to take a little more time, but it's going to be super worth it. I can't wait for you guys to watch this because it's a fantastic video. So be on the lookout for that. So with that being said, I'm Kevin Dinier for Superpower Review, and I hope you guys have a super awesome day. Say bye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye.